Hi guys, welcome to YouTube channel. Today we are going to discuss about the relation of high lifetime volume with a multi-bagger breakout. This is where exactly the smart money is going to move and which eventually creates a multi-bagger. So now I'll take few stocks and explain you about the same concept of lifetime high. Hi guys, let's discuss about multi-bagger stock Titan. Titan over the past 1 decade has given a phenomenal returns, right? So now if I look into the chart of 10 years, so this is where you see in Titan that there's a huge up move that has happened, right? So in 10 years, if you see, the first thing that a lifetime volume has come somewhere around that this point, and then you see that kind of broke somewhere here, then this was like one of the really big volume, right? And you see, up until this point, there was a huge accumulation that was happening, and here once again, it's very close to its previous all-time high. So now, if you had bought the stock anywhere between this range to this range, now imagine the kind of potential that the stock would have thrown. You would have had a multi-bagger just like that, right? Now let's analyze it further. Okay. So if I look somewhere at this point in 2016, the stock was trading at 345. Next best lifetime high, you see, 475. And then there's again at 500 odd in 2017, and you can see somewhere 1280 in 2019 and 2020, which is again at around 1000 rupees, right? You see the kind of movement that stock had. Even if you had missed all of this, right? If you had missed all of this and if you had just caught it here, you see the kind of growth that Titan had is phenomenal. So from 1000 rupees to 3500, at least a three bagger in about 4 to 5 years. That's very good returns, right? So this is not just theory for one stock. Now let us see some multi-bagger stocks, right? Bajaj Finance has been one of the best multi-baggers of the last decade as well, right? So now let's see the Bajaj. In the Bajaj Finance, if I put a 10-year graph, right, where is the high volumes coming up? Lifetime high volumes, right? So now if you see somewhere around this area, there's one lifetime high volume. You can see from here, right? Okay, you missed that, no problem. There's one more lifetime high volume somewhere here. And then like all banks and NBFCs, COVID had a really very big boom for all this NBFCs, right? The interest rate was reduced. And Bajaj Finance is a stock which gets split oftenly, right? So every time it goes and touches 10,000, the stocks kind of got split and so on and so forth. So if you had bought at point 1, 2, or 3, look at the kind of returns that it has generated, right? 200, 2000, that's for 5 baggers in 5 years. Phenomenal stock, right? So now you see the relationship between the volume and the multi-baggers, right? So this is not a one-off theory. This is how the smart monies are moved inside the market, right? It is not something just out of nothing. You just one day wake up and the stock moves. You have to keep on watching where is this lifetime high volume coming up. Now let's see one more. For example, Pidilite Industry is also one of the stocks which has done phenomenally well, right? So if I open Pidilite Industries and if I put 10-year chart, wow, what a fantastic chart. 2020, COVID absolutely had nothing to do with it. Sounds very strange, right? You see the first lifetime high volume of the stock that has happened somewhere here, right? And then one, two has come, and third, right? Boom. Look at the stock from there to here, right? If you the stock would have been at 1000 rupees, right, at this mark, and you see 1000 to 3000, so that's about in 8 years 3x easily, and it's a very stable stock looking on the appearance. And again, on top of this, you would get a dividend and so on, so forth, right? So this is one of the stocks of the Pidilite. Now let's see one more interesting one, my favorite, and all the mid cap people or the mid cap index favorite, as I must say. So this is the company Dixon Tech, which does electronics manufacturing in India. Look at 10 years. Oh my God. Dixon has been accumulated left, right, and center, right? See the kind of volumes, right? Here, 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 here. So, on an average, if you had seen all this and bought this stock, let's say at 2022 around 4,000 rupees or even less than 4,000, right? At that point. So, if you had bought at that point, 4 to 18, it's more than four baggers in what, 2 years? 2025 October is yet to come, so probably less than 2 years, right? So this is the power of a lifetime high volume. So the moment you see a fundamental stock, you guys are tracking your particular portfolio stocks for over like 4 5 years and so on. This is something that can really differentiate where it is going to come up, right? There is a very good W pattern also that I'm seeing here in Dixon, right? Next, let us see about Tata Elxsi, right? This also had Tata. Okay, I think first I should show Tata Motors, right? Okay, Tata Motors. If I put a 10 years, see the kind of accumulation. The company was going through a very bad phase, right? But look at the accumulation. Look at all the smart money here, right? You forget if you could not buy it here, okay, we'll leave it here, 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 here. Here also we'll ignore. Imagine you had bought it somewhere here in 2022. Okay, the price would be somewhere around 500 rupees, right? 500, it made it double bagger, right? It had gone to 1100 plus as well. Right now there's a dip, but you see there's no increase in the volume. No one is accumulating in the space as such. But the smart money has made their decision. They had already bought it at this phase, so probably 50 to 100 rupees or 100. Then they kept on averaging until about 200, and they have made a huge returns, right, in all this aspect. So this is also one of the examples of a lifetime high volume. So what is a lifetime high volume? In a very good stable company, the fundamentally good company, the financials are good, the sector is good, and you've been watching the stock for like for the last 4 to 5 years, and then you get this kind of volumes, then that is something that is going to really give you the multi-bagger return, right? One of the stocks I had, I think I have already made a previous video of it. This is KPI Green. So I had taken a risky bet. So I had put only around 10,000 rupees somewhere odd here, right? After the first lifetime volume, it was volumes were a bit high, but nothing major. So somewhere at around this phase, I had bought for 10,000. I have made a profit of about 4 lakhs in KPIT, is KPI Green. So that's a phenomenal run that I had. So I had it from here to here, or I think I probably booked my profit somewhere here, right? Not entirely at the top. So there's already a video of it, or probably I can make one more video of it, right? So you see here this lifetime high volume. This is one, two. You missed here. You missed here. Here, had you caught this, at least you see from 200 to 600, at least three bagger, right? So this is a power of fundamentally good companies and lifetime high stocks, right? Lifetime high volume. So now a lot of videos you might be looking, a lot of places you might be looking, a lot of formulas you might be looking on what can be a multi-bagger setup, right? So this is what a multi-bagger setup would look like. For example, Reliance, if you remember, has been one of the greatest wealth creator um, in the last decade, right? You see, in last 10 years, you remember that they were selling a stake and they were becoming a debt free. Look at the accumulation here, man. This is what, at 200 rupees. Okay, so now imagine you missed this. Next, anywhere here, our COVID dip. Even at COVID dip, if someone had bought at 600, it would be a two bagger, right? So you take any stock for that example, right? This lifetime volume is always going to tell you a very good picture probably we will look at a negative case like something like an S Bank, right? So S Bank had a huge fall and huge rise also, right? So now you can tell me, we followed this strategy or we are looking into this strategy. But if you see, it made a pretty good volume, lot of accumulation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all these phases, right? There's a huge volume. But the problem is, this is not a company that straightly comes, something like a Reliance or some other stock, right? Say Bajaj Finance, who had very stable business, very stable outlook, and doing a great business, great CAGR. This is a company which was supposed to be doomed because of reasons, and government of India decided to not give it away, right? And I'll show you one more stock, which where I'm seeing a very good volume. So if the theory works well here, then it can be a stock, right? So you see, 10 years, I think 10 years, so Ola is 2024 debut, right? So probably 5 years also. If I put 10 years, it doesn't matter. Okay. So Ola, you see what has happened? Ola, the IPO came, it went down, it went down, it went down. You see here, suddenly something kind of ticked. All these years, right? The volume was very less. Okay. If you see, probably I'll highlight it once again. All this time, the volume was nowhere above this, right? And suddenly you get a volume which is like really big, even compared to its IPO at this phase, right? Even bigger than an IPO volume somewhere here. If someone had caught a stock somewhere here at 40 rupees and it had already made about 50% return within what, couple of months? July, August, September, couple of months. And now also it's having a pretty good volume. So what I would recommend is, please talk to your financial advisors, look into the stock. If something fundamentally changing and lifetime high volumes are coming, right? So always keep this in your track list, so you'll be able to catch some of the multi-baggers at least. And if you are regularly watching any of your stocks for last 3 4 years or 5 years, and if you see this kind of a lifetime high volumes, then I think that is the place where you need to average, especially for a fundamentally really good companies, right? So this is something that uh, I think I had one more Carbor. I know. I don't know. Huh. I think this was also one of the mid caps that I was following, right? Yeah. See here. Uh, this theory works everywhere, but the problem is, India, right? A lot of this mid cap companies, small cap companies, the promoters are like the chindi chores. So they always want to make money, right? They don't want to create the wealth for others. So that's the reason I showed a lot of the options in the large caps stable companies. So you should also try stable companies. Even though I tried KPIT Green, I had invested only about 10,000, which I was okay to lose. So this is something that I wanted to tell. Probably I'll make few more videos on this, take few more case studies. Keep watching. And if you are watching on something very interesting where you see very good setups emerging, right? Especially if the stock has a lifetime high value. So